Girls, how you doing? Let's do another pick card and second attempt because it's Sunday today. You know, the brain was somewhere else. I don't know where it was the first attempt. So, okay, what are we doing today? Well, what we're doing, that's what we say. What are they doing? That is a question. Oh my God. What a start. What a start. Okay, we're going to keep it simple today. Let me tell you. Ooh, la, 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 la. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2. Pan number 1. What is it doing? 9 of Wands, 3 of Cups, and the Page of Wands. Interesting. Well, because that person is a bit, I'm not a big fan, but that person is not very, how can I say, fair. It's not someone real. It's someone who likes to blame the rest of the planet, but not really taking any responsibility for themselves. They put their head in the sand. They don't want to deal with issues or problems. They say, oh yeah, well, if I don't think about it, it doesn't exist. It doesn't work like that, okay? And well, that creates a lot of chaos. A lot of chaos, okay? So we're going to get to the end of this because it's been maybe a lot of arguments around them, or a lot of arguments they created. Their behavior have been creating a lot of chaos as well, okay? So now there is an idea, maybe there's 3 people instead of 2. Maybe, yes, there's a reason to be excited. Maybe they love spending time going out, party, going one person to the other, not really taking responsibility for anything. Right, let's have, yeah. So someone is actually rushing towards them, or maybe they're gaining that clarity because they as well maybe a bit bored with their own behavior because they've been creating a lot of things, a lot of drama, and we're gonna get to the 10 of Wands, okay? And then it's gonna be really a new cycle of life. The thing is, maybe now they're starting to feel like things are about to transform. The wind is changing direction. So they used to be able to just pretend and just everything is fine. But now there's some very clear idea coming to them very fast. Okay, so if they're trying to avoid a situation, this situation is coming back to them, and you are contemplating. Okay, yeah. Maybe at the moment you are in a phase of you want to be left alone. You're in a hermit phase. You pose. You're tranquil. You don't want to do anything particular. And maybe it's great because maybe you're busy understanding or trying to understand the behavior, trying to make sense of what they've done or haven't done. And so you're kind of backing off, and maybe they're going to be as well at some point obliged to be alone because fluffing around and socializing too much and go from one person to the next, it really doesn't give them the time and the opportunity to stay still and understand some things, and they need to they have to deal with this. So there is a karmic that's going to be paid off, or going to have to be paid off. Is a lot of maybe codependency, toxicity, codependence in the sense of maybe alcohol, drugs, all kind of stuff, and or maybe just addicted to a certain form of behavior. Maybe it's a lot of sexual encounters and all of that. So all of this is going to have to be confronted there. All right, because when you are confronting yourself, then that's where you have to deal with generally, because then when it's dealt with, then you can actually move forward. Yeah, then they're gonna have to stay put. They're gonna have to stay put at some point and think of what they've done, what they haven't done, and why they didn't do what needed to be done. So what is they doing? They are being prepared by life to actually focus on themselves, not on the sense of look at me, but I need to understand my behavior because something don't make sense. And now I'm starting to feel the consequences of my action or lack of action. So is they about to confront themselves because they have to. Those kind of people, they will not confront themselves with pure truth if they can avoid it. Absolutely. But now life is saying, okay, you've been playing for a little while. Now we're just like, boom, get there. All right. So part number 2, where they do it. Yeah. I'm turning the, that's it. King of Sword, oh my God. The Magician and the 8 of Sword as well. A lot of sword here. So for me, yes, we have someone who may have been behaving in a way that was very confusing for you, because the King of Sword, male, female, doesn't matter, is someone who truly loves you. Absolutely. Butterfly in a belly, all shebang, but they push you away. They treat you harshly. They're hot and cold. They yes and no, and yes, I'm here, no, I'm not. It's a bit like, whoa. It's not because they're particularly nasty. It's just because they're confused. And so they cannot, how can I say, acknowledge their feelings for you, or they cannot deal with them. So they're using the mind and they hide behind the sword. You see, they're very much hiding behind the sword, behind the mind. They're asking themselves a lot of questions instead of feeling. If they were just feeling and focusing on the heart, they will know where they stand. They will know that it's about love and maybe self-love, because the thing we have here is their own limitation of the mind. So their mind is not their best friend. They're actually the opposite. The mind makes everything complicated. Sometimes you just need to enjoy what you have in front of you and stop this. This has to switch off. Okay, so whatever you need to do, have a long bath, have, I don't know, watching very cool movies or whatever. Just focus on something else. Be in action, meaning maybe baking, cooking, something that doesn't ask you to rush around like a headless chicken, because that's another way to avoid the mind or avoid the feelings. But it's a way to stop the mind. But trying to do something that maybe you're not very good at, that require a lot of precision, and you're going to really focus on what you do now and here and now. That's what they need to do. And maybe that's you as well. Okay, so yeah, manifesting, yeah, you're manifesting each other, or you're going to re-manifest each other. But the magician is also someone who uses the illusion to make believe, or make themselves believe certain things that are not even true. So what they're doing, they're hiding behind the mind, they're creating story with the mind. By the end of the day, they're not really present. And that's how years pass by, and you realize, oh my God, I'm halfway through my life, but I was always projecting things in my mind, but not really feeling from the heart or the body. Go back to the body. Go back to the body. But you see what I mean? That is another way as well to be on a here now. Absolutely. Well, here we go. Absolutely, there's a lot of room possible. Yeah, because as you go back to the here now, it's about the body, it's about feeling. Absolutely. But also it could be a new beginning, a new start. It follows the 10 of Wands. 10 of Wands is carrying a lot of responsibility that you don't need to carry. And then suddenly you see, what about me? What about me putting the oxygen mask on myself? I need to work on me. Absolutely. If you don't love yourself first, how can you love somebody else? So there is an idea of Queen of Cups, maybe as well an idea of the Queen of Cups is backing off and protecting the heart. Male, female, doesn't matter. And contemplating. Okay, contemplating is nice, but again, maybe it's too much on the thinking here, right? Again, let's stop that. It's a softer way to be, but it's not perfect neither. I'm completely detached. I'm watching the movie. I'm not in the movie. The Queen of Cups is someone who is looking at the situation, but not being part of it. Maybe for a while it's good to do that, so we can see what is actually happening, right? But then you need to, participate to life. You cannot either be on your mind or just watching. I love watching people passing by. It's lovely. Very French attitude. Oh, nice. Ooh, nice. No. Ooh. Anyhow, but you know what I'm saying. But there was a moment when you also need to be here and now. Okay, so yeah, becoming an empress, yes, it's a choice as well to make between two. Do I want to use the mind only, or do I want to go back into the here and now in the body? What do I want to do? George is here. So again, it's also waiting and contemplating. That's what they're doing at the moment. And I think maybe they need to do that because they need to analyze why they're behaving like this and why they're doing this. But if they go on a why again, it's going to be back in the mind. So it's all about balancing those tanks, the tank of action, the tank of reflection. We have different centers, the moving centers, the doing things centers, and the thinking centers. But if you're only in the thinking, then you don't do much. If you're only thinking, then you're not moving. Excuse me. George is definitely here. So trying to balance those three centers always, okay? A little bit of this, a bit of that, a little bit of that. That's it, okay? On this note, have a beautiful day and I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.